Hello everyone, it's Skyee here and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. So today we're going to be starting part 2 of our bonus October color along. We have been working in Jasmine Becket-Griffith's Halloween coloring book, and this is the page that we're doing. We finished her hair in part 1, so you haven't watched that yet. Definitely go back and do so. I think today we are going to color her skin and the mask or face paint, whatever this is on her, because that's pretty much the end of the line where I know what colors it's going to be. And then from there, I'm going to have to make some decisions. I think I'll probably take this to the computer and kind of play around with some colors on there to figure out what I want to do, because I'm so indecisive. There's 2 different ideas that I'm kind of thinking about, but I don't really know which one to go with. So yeah, I think that's the plan so far. So I'm just going to quickly pick out some colors and then we can go ahead and get started. Alright, so we're using the Prismacolor Premiers. So I have some pencils pulled out and I've got my swatches pulled out as well. So let's go ahead and zoom on in. Hopefully the lighting is okay. I really don't want to bring out my ring light. I don't really know how helpful it is. I think we have a decent amount of light today. It's not the best, but it's not quite as dark as it was yesterday. So I'm hoping this will be okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get like the hard part over first, which is the face paint, because I want this to be white, and we're gonna add some grays to kind of achieve that effect. So I'm gonna start off with the 70% cool gray, and I'm gonna figure out some shadows here. So looking at this, we're just gonna call this face paint. So looking at this face paint around her eyes here, we have 2 different sets of petals. So this right here would be one of these petals, so I wouldn't color that in. Oh, and I do have some pieces of paper in behind my page here, just to protect the pages behind. So let's just go ahead and start adding in some shadow. I'm just gonna go real light for now because I'm a little bit nervous. Also, a little bit of a disclaimer that I don't fully edit my videos. There's a little bit of editing at the beginning and the ends, and then any notes that I write down to come back in and check to edit out, I will do that. But for the most part, my videos are unedited. It's just raw footage. So there's gonna be pauses and breaks, and I'm probably gonna like stutter and mumble. It's just a thing here. It's how we do it. So hopefully you don't mind. Okay, so I feel like here it would be shadowed. She would definitely have some shadow underneath her hair for sure. So we might as well go ahead and put that in. I don't want to bring my shadows out too far. I really want to like slowly work up into this. I think this color along is going to be another 5-part one. My Hannah Lynn one was 5 parts as well, so I was planning on 4 because I generally try to plan for every Friday of the month to have a video come out. That's what I generally do. But I definitely miscalculated how much time the Hannah page would take me, and I know full well this is going to take a lot of time. So just this face paint and the skin alone will probably be this part, and then the flowers will probably be another part. We might actually get away with 4 parts maybe. They're going to be longer parts though, so otherwise it would be 5 parts. So I think part 1 was almost 2 hours of recording. It won't be quite 2 hours long because I'm going to, actually it might be. I was going to say because I'm going to speed up the burnishing of her hair, but I recorded that after I'd finished recording. So that's actually some extra time on top of the time it took me to record. So, oh, and I wanted to send the hubby a quick text here because he's not home. So I just want to make sure that he's picking up little man or coming back here. I'm not sure if I'm going with or not. So I'm just going to send him a super quick text here. basically the whole outline of her face is gonna have a little bit of a shadow. I want her lips to look super full too, so we'll add some shadow there, but I'm gonna hold off for now. Her nose is gonna be pretty shadowed. That's another thing that kind of gets me with Jasmine's girls, is their noses are a little bit hard to kind of figure out. I want her to have a little bit of a Cupid's bow. Is that what that's called? This part here? I think that's a Cupid's bow. I want it to kind of start off a little bit thicker by her nose and then taper off towards her lip. Thinking here is going to be shadowed because it's going to kind of curve. Her nose is. I think that's what I normally do. I should probably double check before. See, this one I actually added a nose, but I do have it quite shadowed in this area. This one, I'm not going to bother adding any like bridge to the nose or anything. I'm going to keep it like a button kind of nose just because we have this face paint in the way and I don't think I'd be able to do it. I'm not quite sure how far I want to bring this shadow up either. Let me just reference to my mermaid's book because I did a color along with Teo at Shine Bright Designs. I think her name is Teo. In this page here. Okay, she did hers a little bit different. She didn't have a shadow here, but she does a shadow kind of between the eyes. A little bit of shadow around the nose. Let's say maybe bring the shadow up to like this teardrop shape here maybe. I'm just gonna fade that off like right around here. Shadow around her nose. I want like these lines to be fairly light. I'll put a little bit of shadow in on this side of her nose too, just lightly. I think I might just mimic the same thing on this side. Yeah. Just gonna have a shadow like on her nose as well. I'm gonna kind of accentuate the circle part of her nose here, I think. So I'm just gonna kind of color in on the left side and underneath, bring it up a little bit. I'm going really light just in case I don't like it and then I can kind of erase it. Maybe let's bring a shadow up just slightly on this side, just not as dark. Okay, underneath her nostril here is going to be pretty dark. So just like right underneath her nose, I think I want that a bit darker. So I'm just going to use a medium pressure there. And then I'm going to lightly fade that out. I think I might have made that too wide. No, I think it's okay. Bring this shadow out a little bit further. And I want her lips to have a little bit of a fuller look. So I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow to the left side and then underneath. And try and make sure that all of this is a little bit soft. I want it to fade out nicely. I don't want it to be too dark. It's gonna look a little bit funny at the beginning, I think. Maybe let's do a little bit of a shadow on this side too, and then maybe underneath the face paint here to kind of accentuate this part of her mouth too. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm confident in the shadows, so I'm gonna go in and darken them up a little bit. I'm not going to push any harder, but I am going to build up the layers. Be able to see a little bit of the shadow underneath this face paint as well too. Or this design, I guess. It's all face paint. Okay, let's make the darkest spot right here, kind of in behind her nose. So fade out from that. I don't want this part of her nose to be too dark because I want it to stay dark under here. So I don't really want to match the intensity of the shadows, but I do want to darken it up a little bit. So I'll just darken up under here, and then I can slightly darken up here a little bit. Oh, my eye just started watering out of nowhere. Okay, I think I want to darken this up a little further. Just directly underneath. Definitely want this spot to be fairly dark. As well as kind of back in here too. It's gonna be weird not putting blush on her. so used to doing that. I mean, this isn't really skin either. I mean, it is, but it's not skin color, skin tone. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I wonder if I should maybe bring in the 90%. That's the only one I didn't grab. I wanted all of them. Maybe the 90% was too dark. I think it's okay. I think we can add a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. Okay, I'm gonna sharpen this up. I want a really sharp tip because I want to have the most control possible. So a sharper tip is generally a little bit easier with that. And I'm just gonna use this for like the very darkest of our shadows. So right here is gonna be super dark. Again, I'm just lightly blushing that color in here. Just a little bit darker directly under her hair. In behind her nose and kind of around this side. Let's darken this up a little bit. Yeah, I'm liking this a little bit better already. And then her nostrils and directly below her nose. Maybe the center of her Cupid's bow. I'm not gonna like bring it out nearly as far. So that way it's a little bit smaller and then this can just be like a shadow from it. Because I made that a little bit wider than I intended. All right, I like that. That looks better. I don't know if I want any more of the 70% cool gray. I think I'm just going to move on to the 50% for now. We'll just keep gradually building up these colors, kind of winging it to see how it goes. I want the majority of this to be white, so I don't know if we'll need all of the cool grays. So I'm gonna put this in just over top of everything. I'm gonna bring it out just a little bit. What time is it? Oh, Rain messaged me back. Let me check here. Okay, he's on his way home. I'm going to bring this along further on the bottom line of her cheek here a little bit. Okay, liking this so far. I don't know if we need the 30%. The 50% and the 30% are very, very similar. I think I'm going to skip both that and the 20 maybe. Do we need the 20? I don't think I want it. I think I'm going to skip those two for now. Let's just go in with the 10% and kind of see what happens. I don't want this to turn out too gray because I want it to be white. We just need the gray for the shadows. So again, just lightly coming in here. Don't want to burnish the page in case we need to add more. I like that. That, and also because I want to burnish with the white, because that will help everything kind of blend together and hopefully look a little bit more unanimous. The 10% cool gray is fairly light, so I don't mind bringing this one out a little bit. So I'm definitely going to use this to blend out from all of the shadows, and then I'll just blend it a little ways out from them. Our highlights are basically going to be her cheeks. So here, kind of like right by her nose, and then her forehead. So those will be our highlights. So we're going to try and kind of leave kind of like circular shapes in around those areas. Yep, there's the hubby. Starting to get a little bit darker out. Yeah, even on here it's quite dark. I think I'm gonna grab my light. All right, hopefully that's okay. Totally forgot where I was at. I want this. The beauty of this is if it doesn't turn out super smooth, that's totally okay because it's face paint, so it doesn't necessarily have to be smooth. I mean, we're still going to try and get it as smooth as we can, but... wonder if this looks kind of funny here. Might have to extend that shadow a little bit because it is looking kind of funny to me. couple of things I'm going to do, and I think I'm just going to use my 50% Cool Gray to kind of fix these areas. I'm going to bring this shadow over here slightly, just a little bit, so very, very lightly, and just bring it down slightly. So this line kind of works this way. Technically, I would want it to go with her face, but that just looked kind of funny. So I think, because like her face is slanted, so technically you would think that it would be this way, but I think I kind of like that better there. And then I think I want to extend this shadow here so it's kind of like straight across kind of thing as well. So I'm just going to bring the 50% Cool Gray out a little bit further. I think that's good there. I think I'm actually going to switch to my white, and I've got this little tiny guy, but I think for this page I'm going to break out my new white. Let's see if I have one. I'm going to have to grab from the box. Oh, it's at the very bottom. I don't really want to do that, but I will. Alright, so I've got my white here. I'm just going to sharpen it. And then I'm just going to start in with a light pressure and slowly work up that pressure as I blend along. I'm hoping it's a good call to leave the page white. I think it'll be okay. I guess I should use this, huh? A few little smudgy bits here. I'm hoping that doesn't really show up too much. It's probably some pencil dust on the page there, and I just kind of pushed it into the paper. Wasn't thinking I should have brushed my page off. Right, I'm gonna go pick my kiddo up and then we will continue. I'm liking this so far. I think I should have maybe faded this out a little bit better, but I also kind of like that at the same time that it's not faded out perfectly. So I guess it's just kind of preference. Okay, there we go. I think it looks kind of funny right now, but I think that's only because it's gray. It's like grayish white. It's not the usual skin tone. And then I think it will look a lot better when we have all of the face paint and stuff in there too. Shadow wise and everything, I really like how it looks though. It's nice and soft, which I like. I'm glad that I went with cool tones. I was thinking warm tones, but I just don't think they would have looked the same. Plus, the benefit of using cool tones is I actually want to add some shadowing to her eye, like the whites of her eye. And we can do that now too. So we're gonna go straight in with the 70% cool gray. Right here. So we're just gonna add this a little bit at a time. I'm gonna fade it out right here for now. I don't quite know how far I want to bring that. So underneath the eyelash for sure, and then I think down this side a little bit. And I want to kind of curve the two into each other, if that makes sense. So creating like a little bit of like a half circle kind of shape here. And then I'm just going to very lightly build up this color. I think that looks okay. I want it a little bit darker though, near the very top. Take this down just a little bit further. And same with over here. I think I'm just mostly going to darken it up underneath the eyelashes. And then I'm just going to fade out from that. So a little bit here. We don't really have much white to her eye on this side here. So I'll start with just a little bit. I don't think I'd bring it out much farther than that. A little bit on this side too. I'm going to bring it down this side just a little bit again. And same thing, kind of create that half circle shape. So it kind of like starts here and goes like this. Going with the 50% cool gray. I'm mostly just going to go over the shadow with this and then fade it out alongside the shadowed area. I don't think I'm going to extend the shadow any further than I already have though. Maybe slightly along the bottom here, but that's probably about it. And again, I'm not pushing hard or anything. I'm just using a medium pressure and just building up those layers. I think I am gonna, got up to the 20% warm swatch. That's probably why it looked funny when I was kind of matching it up to here, wondering if I needed it. That would make sense. I don't know. I must have put this in the wrong spot. I did too. bring in some of the 20% cool gray. So just going over the shadows, fading it out, the usual. Not burnishing though. Not quite yet. We're going to do that with the white. I think I want to just kind of lightly go over the entire white of her eye with this. Just very, very lightly. Enough to give it just a little bit of color so it's not straight white. And then I'm going to go ahead and start burnishing in with the white. I wonder if I maybe went too gray because that just looks kind of funny to me now. Maybe I should have used the warm grays for her eyes. I don't know, it just looks slightly off. I'm going to grab the 90% cool gray. I'm just going to add a little bit more shadow here. Fade it out slightly. Okay, we'll leave her eyes for now. Hopefully it looks better later because right now it just looks kind of silly. Maybe I'm gonna grab my black Posca pen and I'm just gonna color in the pupil. I'm hoping that'll help a little bit. I don't know if that helped or made it worse. All right, so let's move on to skin. Oh, actually, we have the skin around her eyes to do and the skin down here. So it'll be another longer part, I think. So I don't know how long it took us to do this part, but a while for sure. I think I'm actually gonna grab the dark purple as well. think I want to make her skin a little bit more dramatic than my usual skin. Black grape. I'm sure that'll be fine. I usually grab the dark purple. I grabbed the black grape. I think that'll work. Oops. Sorry. Okay, we're still going to start with our Parma Violet. Oh my goodness. I was wondering why it was stuck. I put it right over the black Posca. That's okay. Okay, I'm not really sure about shadows or shading here. Underneath this part of her eye for sure. Just above this line, I think. I'm playing around with the idea of adding a little bit of eyeshadow to her. I was thinking like some brown eyeshadow just kind of go along with her hair might be nice. But I'm not quite sure yet if I want to do that. There's going to be a shadow kind of coming out from her hair here. I want to add a little bit of a shadow underneath her eyebrow so it looks like her eyebrow is kind of raised a little bit, I guess. I think this whole spot up here will probably just be in shadow. I don't quite know how to color this part of her eye. I'm thinking either from like shadow here to light or shadow on the inner line out to light. I don't really know what's best though. So for now, I'm just gonna keep adding layers up here while I think about it. So I want up here to be fairly dark. Okay, let's just darken up here and work our way lighter. Let's maybe go about like that far past her eye here. Kind of mimic our shadows a little bit on this side too. So maybe up here, again above this line. Underneath her eyebrow. behind her hair, or coming out from her hair, I guess. I think her hair technically like kind of tucks over her face here. Either that or like right here is like a really weird face shape. I'm gonna assume it's her hair, so I think this part would probably be in shadow as well. I think I'm happy with those as shadows. So let's come in and darken them up a little bit. We need to neutralize the purple with the nectar. So I don't want to go too heavy-handed or anything. And then I also still might want to add makeup. So I also don't want to go too heavy-handed there. So I'm just going to add a light layer of this. Just lightly building up some color here. There's something here. I don't know what that was, but it's just part of the page now. I think I actually really like the dark grape, the black grape for a shadow color. I think we need to try for eyeshadow, but I do want to add a little bit of a shadow here, because I would normally, if I was just doing skin, I would add shadows on her upper lids. So I want to add a light shadow with this just to mix in with the makeup colors. That way I'm hoping it'll look more natural. So I don't want her to look dolled up. I want her to have like a natural kind of makeup going on, because she's already got all of this other makeup on her face. So I don't want to go too overboard on her eyes, but I do want to make them a little bit prettier. happy with that. Let's go back in with the Parma Violet. Now that we've got our darker shadows kind of laid down, we can bring the Parma Violet out a little bit. Okay, trying to decide on whether we start with makeup next or just kind of keep layering on her normal skin color. And I think I'm gonna go skin, at least for now. I want to do the nectar, kind of neutralize the purples and see how that's gonna look before I start adding in the browns for her makeup. So I think I'm going to keep up here pretty dark, so I'm just going to go in and pretty much burnish this with the nectar. Kind of fade this out and then just kind of keep layering the nectar in over top of the purples. But for the most part, where the black grape is, I'm going to go in pretty heavy-handed and then fade out from there. Fade out over where we've put the purples. It's looking good so far. Don't know if I went back over with the Parma Violet here, but it doesn't quite look like I did. So even if I did, I don't think I did enough. I want to bring this out a little further. There we go. That's better. Just gonna very, very, very lightly go over these purples here. Let's go in with our makeup colors, I think. So I want to kind of keep the makeup similar to her hair, so I do want to do the dark umber. So I'm just going to bring this just lightly for now over this part of her eye. Kind of fade it out right around here. Oh, we didn't do that side yet. Oops. Okay, we're gonna wait. I'm like jumping ahead of myself here. I think for this part, I don't think we'll finish the skin. I think it's just gonna be way too long. So I think we'll finish the skin around the eyes, and then we'll finish off the rest of the skin in the next part. And hopefully by then I'll have an idea of what I want to do color-wise. So I'm pretty sure we gotta be getting on there in time. I will double check and see where we're at. Since we went to pick up the little man earlier though, my time is split up, but just this alone is half an hour. So I'm sure we're probably at least at like an hour and a half here. And we're not quite done yet. Same as on the other side. Any darker areas with like the dark grape aside from here, I'm just going to go in with the nectar and just gradually burnish it. Hi, Stitch. going to gently go over this purple here. There we go. I think that looks good. So let's go in with our dark umber now. I'm just going to build up this color on her lids here a little bit. Maybe put a little bit back behind the crease. Just lightly blend that out. I'm not going to do that here because I didn't. The crease on this side is a little bit, oh, the crease is here. I'm thinking this part here. Yep. We can do that here. Just a little bit. All right, and then we're going to go in with the chocolate. Just going to keep working that color in there. I'm not going to fully burnish it, but I don't really think we'll put any other colors over here. So I'm just going to make sure that there's no like white peeking through or anything. And I'm going to fade it out real nice. I think maybe we should have a little bit of the color on the bottom, but I don't know. I don't usually put makeup on any of the girls that I color because I find that sometimes it looks clownish. The last few Hannah Lynn girls I did with makeup though, I was quite proud of them. They turned out okay. I think we need to bring the dark umber out a little bit further on this side here. I think that's a little bit better. And then we'll fade out the chocolate here. Dark umber again. Let's do it. Just a little bit, enough to be noticeable. So I'm going to start with the dark umber just right along the bottom and fade that out. I'm not going to bother adding it where her eyelashes are super thick. Maybe like a little bit here because her eyelashes are a little bit more sparse there. This side too. It's pretty much burnished, but maybe we'll add a little bit. All right, then with the chocolate, I'm just going to fade off from that and fade it out into the skin. So next we want the peach. I don't know what I did with, oh, here's my swatch for it. I'm going to sharpen this one. And bring this in over any of my darker colors that still have a little bit of white poking through, meaning that it's not quite fully burnished yet. starting with a light medium pressure and then gradually building up that pressure to really get that color in there. And then I'm going to start fading it out around the skin areas here. I don't think I want her skin to be super light, so I'm just going to do a light layer of the peach all over. And then we'll probably burnish with the light peach. Or just leave it this color. I'm not too sure. I'm not minding the peach right now. Let's just go ahead and do that. I like the peach. I don't want her skin to be super light. I want this page to be a little bit more like, not so much dark, but a little bit more of like a gloomy vibe to it. Lots and lots of layers to build up that color. Hopefully this is looking okay so far. I'm like really nervous about this page. In the back of my mind, I just keep thinking, well, it's a bonus color along. I can just scrap it and we don't have to do it, but I really want to. Okay, I think I like that. Let's color in this part here too. Might as well just do both of them at the same time. Let's go in with the Parma Violet. I think it's gonna be darker here and then get lighter as it goes to the eyeball. Hopefully that's how I'm gonna do it. It's probably the opposite though. I'm just gonna start off a little bit darker into the corner and then fade it out. Then I'm going to switch in with the nectar. I think I'll just fully color that in there. While I have my nectar, I'm just going to add a little bit more to some of these areas. Actually, I think we went over and just started doing all of this after, right? I think, hopefully. So I'm good with my shadows. And then, yeah, because we only used the nectar and the peach, so I must have brought the nectar out a little ways. I think for this side, I'm just going to color all of the top above her eyebrow in with the nectar. All right, and then we'll go in with our peach. Same as before, any of our darker areas that don't look like they're quite fully burnished yet, we're going to go in with the peach. Put a little bit up here. Okay. It's not bad. I want to erase a little bit of these gray bits here. So I'm just going to go in with my eraser and just start lightly erasing some of these areas. My eraser likes to leave these little eraser gunk pieces, and they are very hard to get off. Come on. Pretty much like have to like almost pick them up, like back up with my eraser. I think it's because of the wax. It's like the wax that it's leaving behind. Okay, I think I like that a little bit better. Let's go up slightly higher, just a little bit. I'm just very gently erasing, almost as if I was coloring. I'm just like lightly taking layers off, kind of like fading it. I do the same thing over here. All right, and with that, I'm gonna go back in with my white. If I can find it here. Make sure the tip of it is clean. So if you don't have a small enough eraser to do that, and you also don't like how this turned out, you can always use a Posca pen or white acrylic paint. Just kind of like dab it in there almost. I do think this will look a lot better once the eyes are colored in, but for now, I think it just needs to look a little bit lighter. I think what I didn't like was that the grays were kind of like matching in with the grays of the mask. So I'm hoping that fixed it. If not, I'll have to use the Posca pen method because I probably don't want to keep erasing and reapplying colored pencils and whatnot. I'm just gonna see where we're at for time. Oh, we're at about an hour. So yeah, I'm for sure we're gonna end this here because there's no way I'm coloring more of this. I'm gonna zoom out a bit. All right, so far I think she's looking pretty cute. I actually can't wait to finish her. I can't wait to add some more details and stuff. Things like, for example, we can do a couple here. I'll probably just add like one or two maybe. I'm gonna grab my dark umber. I'm just gonna add like a couple little hair strands. They don't have to be like super flicky motion. I'm gonna grab the black. So I want these to be fairly dark. So I'm just gonna go over the same ones that I just did. Just kind of like that. And darken them up as much as we want. See, just little things like that. I'll probably put, should we color in her ear? I was gonna say I'll probably put one maybe over her ear too, and then like alongside this one. Because this kind of like, it's like a random like wisp already. I should color her ear right now because I will forget. All right, false alarm. It won't take long though. Okay, so Parma Violet. For the most part, her ear is going to be pretty much in shadow. So I definitely want it in shadow where it's kind of coming out from behind her hair. And it's going to be a little bit in shadow where it comes out from her face. We'll grab our black grape and just deepen up that shadow a little bit. Back in with the Parma Violet just a little bit. Make sure it's got a nice fade, and then grab the nectar. Go in lightly at first, gradually increase our pressure. I'm going to try and fade it out along the very bottom here. I want to try and get a little bit of the peach in there. There. All right, so now dark umber. And the black. There. I think that looks super cute. You could make this wisp kind of come down longer if you wanted. I think I'm just gonna connect it to her hair here. Yeah, I like that. All right, so I think in the next part, I will for sure figure out some colors here. That way we know what we're doing. I think we'll finish off her eyes and her skin because I'd like to add some details to her eyes and really make them pop, because once her eyes come to life, the whole picture is just going to start to form from there. The whole saying that your eyes are the key to your soul is really a thing, and that for me works for coloring pages too. So I think that's the plan. But I think I'm going to call it quits. This is not, well, not call it quits, but I think we're going to call this part 2, and I'm going to brainstorm and figure out some ideas for part 3, which I will hopefully see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, take care, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!